What if your worst enemy isn't out there in the world, but right inside your head? This audiobook will uncover the hidden forces that steer your thoughts and show you how to break free. You'll learn to master your mind, shape your reality, and unlock unstoppable confidence. The power is already within you. It's time to take control. So here's something to think about. Right now, at this very moment, you might not be in charge of your own mind. Your thoughts, emotions, and even your decisions might be controlled, not by society or technology, but by something more dangerous, your own unconscious programming. You believe you're making free choices, but the reality is most of your actions are driven by habits, fears, and beliefs you didn't even choose. Every time you hesitate, every goal you give up on, every whisper of self-doubt that sneaks in, it's not that you're incapable. It's that your mind is on autopilot, following a script written long ago before you even noticed. Unless you reclaim control, it'll keep making decisions for you. But here's the surprising part. You can change your mind. You can rewrite that script. You have the power to take charge of your thoughts, emotions, and actions to create the life you truly want, rather than the one shaped by your fears and past. That's what this audiobook is here to teach you. No fluff, no vague inspiration. Just real, actionable strategies grounded in science, psychology, and neuroscience that will give you full mental control. Learning to train your mind is what sets apart those who succeed from those stuck in cycles of self-doubt, overthinking, and procrastination. You're about to discover how to master this secret of mind control they never taught you. Now let's be clear. This isn't about manipulation or tricking others. It's not about hacking your way to success with cheap mental tricks. It's about mastering yourself. The truth is, every limitation you face, every struggle and frustration, comes down to one thing: your ability to control your mind. If you can't focus, you'll always be distracted. If you can't manage your emotions, you'll constantly react. If you can't oversee your thoughts, you'll always be at odds with yourself. Most people live their lives trapped in their own minds, completely unaware. The way people think doesn't always match up with reality. It's often just a pattern they've learned over time. That's why some folks can rise up against tough odds, while others fail even when they've got every advantage. It's not about being the smartest or the most talented. It's all about mental discipline. Your mind can be your strongest asset or your biggest setback. The key is whether you take charge or let it take charge of you. By the time you finish this audiobook, your thinking will shift. That's not some vague promise. It's a biological fact. Your brain is changing every moment. Each time you challenge a belief, adjust your thoughts, or practice mental control, you're physically altering your brain's structure. This process is called neuroplasticity. It explains why some people stay trapped in self-sabotage, while others escape and reprogram their minds for success. It's not luck that makes the difference. It's knowledge and practice. This audiobook will guide you to break free from negative thought patterns and rewire your brain for confidence and success. You'll learn to tune out distractions and master deep focus. You'll take control of your emotions instead of letting them control you. You'll train your mind for unbeatable resilience, so nothing can shake you. You'll conquer self-doubt and build unstoppable confidence. Say goodbye to procrastination and forge ironclad discipline. You'll discover proven psychological techniques to set and achieve your goals without failure. But remember, this isn't passive learning. If you just listen and don't take action, nothing will change. However, if you commit to using these techniques, your mind will change and your life will too. Now here's a tough truth. Most people never master their minds. They keep overthinking, doubting themselves, making excuses, and waiting for the perfect moment to change. They might read books and watch motivational videos, but they stay stuck year after year. Why? Because they let their fears, their past, and their subconscious programming drive their actions. But you're not like most people. You're here because you want to break that cycle. You're ready to take control of your mind and start thinking, acting, and living at a higher level. That's what this audiobook is all about. Here's something to listen to. Every strategy I share can be used right away. Each mental shift I talk about isn't just theory. It actually works in real life. But for it to be effective, you need to commit to the process. Let's be clear. Everything you want in life starts in your mind. Success, confidence, happiness, resilience, they all rely on your ability to control your thoughts and feelings. It doesn't matter where you are right now, how stuck or unmotivated you might feel. The instant you take charge of your mind, everything shifts, and that journey begins now. Are you ready? Once you learn these techniques for mental control, your thinking will never be the same. Chapter 1: The Hidden Mechanism That Controls Your Life. Have you ever paused and wondered why your life is the way it is? Why do certain thoughts pop up even when you don't want them? Some people glide through life, making sharp choices and staying calm, while others feel trapped in a loop of overthinking and doubt. It's not luck or fate. It's not something magical beyond your control. It's your mind, the most powerful and least understood force in your life. Most folks think they're in charge of their thoughts, but get this. Nearly 95% of your daily choices and emotional reactions happen before you even think about them. Your mind works like a machine, running on deep-seated patterns, habits, and beliefs, many programmed into you long ago, even before you could speak. These hidden programs influence how you feel, how you respond to situations, and what you believe is possible for your future. And the scary part? If you don't take control of these processes, they will control you. But here's the truth. You don't have to be a passive player in your own mind. You can take the wheel. You can rewrite the code. You can be the master instead of the servant. Real mind control, the kind that gives you clarity, confidence, and the ability to steer your life where you want, doesn't come from forcing or suppressing thoughts. It comes from understanding. That's what this chapter is all about. We're going to dig deep into how your mind works. Let's break down the conscious and subconscious minds. We'll uncover how your thoughts are created and reveal the hidden factors that sway everything from your habits to your feelings. Most importantly, we'll explore how to shake off those mental patterns that keep you stuck so you can build the life you truly want. But before we dive in, ask yourself, are my thoughts really my own? Or have they been shaped by influences I've never questioned? By the end of this chapter, you'll find those answers, and more importantly, you'll have the tools to change them. Now let's talk about the illusion of control. Are you really in charge? Here's something that might be tough to swallow. A lot of what you think and feel isn't something you consciously choose. It might seem like you're making decisions on the fly, but your brain is predicting your reactions before you even realize it. Scientists have found that choices are made in the subconscious a tiny moment before you consciously decide anything. So when you think you're deciding to feel a certain way, your brain has already set the path based on past experiences, habits, and automatic programming. Think back to the last time you felt angry, sad, or anxious. Did you consciously say, "I'm going to feel anxious now"? Of course not. It just happened. Your mind was running on a script, just like a computer runs a program. The same goes for procrastination, self-sabotage, or reacting to stress in ways you wish you hadn't. It doesn't mean you're weak or unable. It means your subconscious is in control, and your conscious mind is just explaining those actions after the fact. This is why change feels incredibly tough. You might tell yourself, "I'll stop overthinking," or "I'll be more confident," but unless you change the underlying programming, those promises won't stick. Here's the silver lining. Your mind is flexible. Your subconscious isn't your foe. It's just following the instructions it has learned over time. If those instructions are outdated or harmful, you can rewrite them. You can take back control. But first, you need to understand how your mind is structured. Let's look at the two minds, conscious and subconscious. Your mind has these two main parts. They work together but in very different ways. The conscious mind is what you're aware of. It handles logical thinking, decision-making, and reasoning. It helps you plan and make sense of your surroundings. But here's the catch. It's only accountable for about 5% of your daily thoughts and actions. The subconscious mind, however, operates like a hidden supercomputer, working silently in the background. It controls everything automatically, from breathing and blinking to habits, fears, and emotional reactions. That's where your true mental strength lies. But it also keeps the limiting beliefs and emotional patterns that hold you back. Think of your subconscious like a huge library filled with experiences, emotions, and beliefs that you're not aware of. Every moment of your life, from when you were a kid to now, has added to this vast collection. If as a child you were made to think you weren't good enough, your subconscious filed that away as a belief. If you failed at something and felt embarrassed, your subconscious tagged that as a warning, telling you to avoid such situations in the future. These stored experiences shape your behavior, often without you even realizing it. That's why some people keep making the same mistakes, fall into toxic relationships, or wrestle with the same fears, no matter how hard they try to change. They're wrestling with a subconscious program that has already dictated their reactions before they even think of it. But here's something most people don't catch. Your subconscious mind isn't set in stone. It's always adapting, learning, and reshaping itself. Thanks to neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, you can change even the toughest thought patterns. But to do that, you need to know how to tap into the subconscious directly. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Your subconscious doesn't just house past experiences, it also shapes your future based on what it has learned. This is why folks who expect bad things to happen seem to attract more negative events. It isn't just superstition, it's neuroscience. Your subconscious mind is always scanning your surroundings for proof that supports its existing beliefs. If you deep down think you can't succeed, your mind filters out opportunities that would prove you wrong. If you've grown up expecting to fail, your subconscious mind will trip you up in ways you may not even see. Procrastination, hesitation, self-doubt, they all keep you stuck within the familiar boundaries of your past. That's why mastering your mind is the most powerful skill you can ever learn. Once you figure out how to break free from those limiting subconscious patterns, you can start transforming your life in ways you never imagined. And that's exactly what we're going to explore in this audiobook. In the next section, we'll dig deeper into how these subconscious habits are created, and more importantly, how you can start changing them right now. Because when you take charge of your mind, you take charge of your reality. Chapter 2. The Silent Architect of Your Reality. Have you ever felt like life is just happening to you instead of you creating it? No matter how hard you try, something inside seems to pull you back into old habits of procrastination, fear, or self-doubt. What if I told you it's not random? Right now, an unseen force in your mind is shaping your reality. It's filtering what you notice, guiding your choices, and deciding what you believe is possible for you. That force? It's your subconscious mind, and whether you know it or not, it crafts your reality every single day. So, who programmed it? Most people think they fully control their thoughts, choices, and reactions. They believe they're freely picking their careers, relationships, habits, and even how they see themselves. But the truth is much more troubling. Many of those choices were made for you long before you questioned them. The way you think, react, and handle emotions isn't spontaneous. These are automated responses shaped by past experiences, some of which you may not even remember. Consider this. Why do some people enter a room radiating confidence while others fade into the background? Why do some bounce back from failure easily while others fall into a spiral of self-doubt? It's not about brains, talent, or even luck. It's mental programming. Your behavior, your view of the world, and how you react to opportunities or threats have already been set in stone. Years of conditioning can shape your subconscious. If that programming isn't working for you, if it leads you to overthink, hesitate, or feel stuck, your life will reflect that, no matter how much you want to change. Now here's a powerful truth about the mind. Your subconscious can't tell what's real and what's imagined. It only knows what you repeatedly tell it, what you emotionally reinforce, and the patterns you allow to linger. This means you have the power to completely reprogram your mind from scratch if you're ready to learn how it works and take charge of what goes into it. Our journey starts here because if you don't take control of your mind, someone else will. Think of your mind as a filter. It shapes how you see reality. To understand the power of your subconscious, remember this. Your mind doesn't show you reality. It gives you a filtered version of it. Every second, your brain is hit with a ton of information, sights, sounds, feelings, memories. If you were aware of everything all at once, you'd be overwhelmed. So your mind has a built-in filter to decide what's important and what can be ignored. This filter is called the reticular activating system, RAS, and it's one of the most powerful, yet often misunderstood parts of your brain. The RAS acts like a mental gatekeeper. It controls what grabs your attention and what fades into the background. Ever wondered why, after buying a new car, you start noticing that model everywhere? It's not that more people are driving it. Your RAS has flagged it as important, so now you see it more clearly. This same idea applies to your beliefs. If your subconscious thinks you're not good enough, your RAS will filter the world to reinforce that belief. You'll notice every rejection, failure, and criticism while ignoring signs of your capabilities and worth. That's why some folks who expect bad things seem to face misfortune repeatedly, while those who anticipate success find it all around them. It's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's mental. Your reality is shaped by how you see the world, and that view comes from your subconscious mind. Here's the kicker. Your subconscious can be changed. It's flexible. It can be reshaped and rewired. But most people don't do this on purpose. Instead, they let their beliefs be shaped by outside influences, parents, teachers, the media, and society, without questioning if those influences really help them. Once those beliefs are set, your reticular activating system, RAS, then filters your reality in a way that keeps reinforcing them. But what if you could flip that around? What if, instead of letting old beliefs control you, you could actively retrain your mind to see things in a way that boosts your goals, builds your confidence, and wipes out self-doubt? The good news is that you can. But first, you need to understand how your subconscious was programmed and learn how to break free from those limiting mental scripts. From the moment you entered this world, your subconscious has been listening and recording everything, every experience, every word, every emotional reaction. These create the foundation of your mental programming, those automatic scripts that dictate how you respond to life. If someone told you as a kid that you were smart, your subconscious stored that belief, and your RAS filtered reality in a way that confirmed it. On the flip side, if you were told you weren't good enough, that belief got stored too. And no matter how hard you try to prove otherwise, your mind will keep filtering your view of the world through that lens. These subconscious programs play on repeat, like a background track you're not even aware of. They dictate how you react to criticism, how you view obstacles, whether they're challenges or dead ends, and whether you think success is within your reach. They affect how you deal with stress and uncertainty, driving you either forward with confidence or holding you back with fear. Here's the eye-opener. Most of these programs weren't even chosen by you. They were implanted by your surroundings, parents, teachers, cultural influences, often well before you had the ability to question them. So the real question is, whose voice is guiding your mind? Because if you don't take charge of your mental programming, you might end up spending your whole life on autopilot. We've all got old scripts running in our minds, scripts written by someone else. The only way to change that is to take the pen and start writing your own story. In the next part, we'll dive into how these subconscious programs influence your life, and more importantly, how you can reboot them for unstoppable confidence, clarity, and success. Because once you take charge of your mind, everything shifts. Let's talk about rewiring those hidden programs that steer your life. Imagine if you could peek inside your mind's control panel. What would you find? A program that boosts your confidence, focus, and drive? Or outdated scripts filled with doubt, fear, and hesitation, running without your approval? Most folks never question the thoughts rattling around in their heads. They think their worries and habits define them. Here's the truth that can change everything. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are just habits, mental loops shaped by what you've experienced and enforced by repetition. They aren't permanent, and guess what? They can be rewritten. But first, you need to recognize the hidden programs in your subconscious. Think of your mind as a computer. Your subconscious is like the operating system, quietly managing everything in the background. Your conscious mind? That's the user interface, the part that believes it's in control, while it's really just reacting to deeper codes running underneath. The issue is, many people never upgrade their mental software. They stick to old beliefs handed down to them as children, clueless that these programs are influencing their relationships, careers, confidence, and even health. Here's the kicker. The subconscious isn't concerned with whether a belief is helpful or harmful. It doesn't judge if a thought is true or false. It just repeats what it knows. So, if you've been conditioned to doubt yourself, your mind will keep spinning thoughts of doubt, not because they are true, but because they're habitual. Unless you step in and change those patterns, they'll shape your life. But here's the silver lining. Every program in your mind can be adjusted. Just like a computer gets updates, your subconscious can be reprogrammed. You can get rid of limiting beliefs and replace them with ones that empower you. The trick is understanding how those beliefs got there in the first place. It's all about the science of mind control, both psychology and neuroscience. To change your mindset, you need to know where your beliefs originated. Most people think their opinions, fears, and habits are choices they've made consciously. But in truth, most were formed long before you even realized it. From birth to about 7 years old, your brain is mostly in theta waves, a state of deep receptivity. During this time, your mind soaks up everything, your parents' words, your surroundings, society's expectations, without questioning if they're true or not. This is when the core blueprint of your mind gets shaped. If you were always told you're smart, you can do anything, your subconscious locks in that belief, creating a foundation of confidence. But if you were cautioned with, be careful, life is tough, don't take risks, then that fear and hesitation are what your subconscious absorbed. And that can stick with you for life. Even small moments can leave big impacts. A single embarrassing experience as a child can spark a lifelong fear of public speaking. A painful rejection might turn into a belief that you're unworthy of love. The subconscious takes these events, generalizes them, and builds rules that guide your actions, often without you even knowing it. Here's the kicker. Once a belief is locked in, your mind looks for proof of it everywhere. That's called confirmation bias, and it's a powerful force in shaping your reality. If you think you're not good enough, your subconscious will highlight every mistake or criticism while ignoring your achievements. If you believe money is tough to get, that belief will make you miss out on opportunities. Simply telling yourself to think positively isn't enough. You can repeat affirmations all day long, but without deeper change, those beliefs will still be in control. You can say affirmations all day long, but if your subconscious is still stuck on an old belief that you're not worthy, your feelings and actions will keep falling back into that pattern. To really transform, you've got to dig deep and change your subconscious from the ground up. This starts with questioning the beliefs you've held on to for years. It's time to break free from those mental chains. So how do you do that? How do you replace those outdated scripts running in your mind with new, empowering beliefs? It all kicks off with awareness. You can't change what you don't see. The first step, figure out what beliefs are running your life. Ask yourself, what do I believe about myself? What do I think about success, love, happiness, and failure? Are these thoughts lifting me up or holding me back? Be honest with yourself. If you find thoughts like, I'll never be good enough, or success is for other people, recognize these as just mental programs, not truths. They only hold power because they've been repeated countless times. But once you shine a light on them, their hold weakens. Next, it's time to challenge those old beliefs and swap them out for new, positive ones. Here's the thing. Your subconscious won't just accept a belief because you say so. It needs proof. So go out and find evidence that contradicts your old thoughts. If you think you're not good at something, look for little successes that show you're wrong. If you believe success is out of reach, start noticing stories of people who've made it work. The more proof you find, the quicker your subconscious can rewire itself. And don't forget, you've got to live those new beliefs through your actions. Thinking differently isn't enough. You've got to act differently. If your subconscious tells you to pause, push yourself to take action anyway. If it says you can't, prove it wrong by stepping out of your comfort zone. Each time you replace an old habit with a new action, you weaken those old pathways in your mind and strengthen the new ones. This is the essence of neuroplasticity, your brain's amazing ability to change based on what you experience. Right now, at this moment, your subconscious is shaping your life. The thoughts you embrace, the beliefs you reinforce, and the actions you take are all part of the process. You're either strengthening what you already know or building something new. The gap between those who control their minds and those who feel trapped by their thoughts is all about awareness and action. If you walk away with just one thing from this chapter, let it be this: you're not stuck. You're not chained to the thoughts you've been thinking, the feelings you've been having, or the habits you keep repeating. Your mind is a tool, not your boss. Once you figure out how to take control, how to reprogram your subconscious from the ground up, you'll tap into a personal power most folks don't even realize is there. That's what we'll explore next. Understanding your mind is just the start. True change comes when you learn to harness its power and reshape your reality from the inside out. Now let's talk about Chapter 4, the struggle between the conscious and subconscious. Who's really in charge here? Have you ever truly decided to change something in your life, only to find yourself slipping back into old ways in just a few days or weeks? Maybe you promised yourself to wake up early and take charge of your mornings, but after a few days, you're hitting snooze again and again. Or perhaps you resolved to conquer self-doubt, just to find yourself stuck in overthinking when action is needed. If this cycle frustrates you, you're not alone, and guess what? It's not your fault. The truth is, change is tough because you're battling two forces in your mind: your conscious will and your subconscious programming. Most people think their conscious mind, the one making the rational choices, is in control. But the reality is, it's the subconscious that calls the shots. Sure, you might want to change, but if your subconscious is loaded with old beliefs, habits, and fears, it will push back. Not because it wants to hold you back, but because it's built to keep things the same. Picture your mind like a car. Your conscious mind is the driver. It sets the destination and decides where to go. But your subconscious mind, it's in the driver's seat, controlling the speed, direction, and if the car even moves forward at all. If your subconscious is filled with limiting beliefs like, "I'm not good enough," or "change is hard," it's like having a GPS that keeps rerouting you away from your true goals. You end up right back where you started, no matter how hard you try to change direction. That's why many folks have a tough time breaking bad habits. They often find themselves stuck in the same old cycles, whether in relationships, jobs, or personal growth. It's not about willpower or being lazy. It's a tug of war between your mind and instincts. Until you align both, making real progress can feel like climbing a steep hill. But here's the good news: your subconscious can be trained. It's not set in stone, and it can be changed. The key is to really understand how it works, how it fights against change, and most importantly, how to reprogram it to support you instead of holding you back. So why does your subconscious resist change? It's all about the comfort zone trap. Your subconscious has one main goal: to keep you safe. And for it, safety means sticking with what's familiar. This is why, even when you want to break free, try something new, or challenge yourself, there's this invisible force pulling you back. That force? It's your subconscious saying, "Wait, this isn't what I know. This feels risky." But here's the catch. Your subconscious doesn't tell the difference between something truly dangerous and something that just feels unfamiliar. It responds to both by pushing back. So even when you know logically you should take action, you hesitate. That pause isn't a choice. It's a knee-jerk reaction from your subconscious, keeping you within its comfort zone. Think of your comfort zone like an invisible fence. Inside, everything feels safe: your habits, thoughts, routines. But the moment you try to step outside that fence, alarms go off. You might feel self-doubt, anxiety, procrastination, or a strong urge to retreat to what's familiar. This doesn't mean change is impossible. It's just how our brains are wired for survival. Sticking to what we know feels safe. That's why many get stuck. They want to change. They really do. But as soon as discomfort hits when they try something new, instead of pushing through, they misinterpret that feeling as a sign they can't change at all. In reality, it's just their subconscious getting used to this new territory. The only way to widen your comfort zone is to push past that initial resistance long enough for your mind to catch up. Turning the unfamiliar into the familiar means reprogramming your subconscious. So how do you get your mind to stop resisting and start supporting you? The key lies in neuroplasticity, the brain's amazing ability to reorganize itself based on what we repeatedly experience. Every time you think a thought, take an action, or feel an emotion, your brain cells or neurons fire together. The more they fire in a specific way, the stronger that connection becomes. This is why habits can feel automatic. Those neural pathways have been strengthened over time. Here's the exciting part. Just as old patterns are formed, new ones can be created. The secret, repetition, and emotion. Your subconscious learns better through constant reinforcement, not just by hearing something once. It needs you to experience things repeatedly until they feel like the new norm. This is where affirmations, visualizations, and consistent actions shine. They're not magic. They're tools for rewiring your brain. By strengthening new neural connections, they gradually replace the old ones. For example, if you've believed for years that you're not confident, your brain has developed strong pathways that support that idea. Just telling yourself, "I am confident," once won't cut it. Instead, if you consistently visualize yourself being confident, start taking small actions that build your confidence and create new emotional experiences tied to it, those new pathways will grow stronger, while the old ones lose their strength. At first, change can feel tough. You're literally rewiring your brain, creating new mental routes, while the old ones are still there. But the more you nurture the new belief, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, one day, believing it will feel seamless. It becomes a part of who you are. There's a moment when everything clicks, when your new belief or habit outweighs the old one. That's when change stops being a battle. It no longer feels forced, it just feels right. Think back to learning to drive. At first, it was all about consciously managing everything, the pedals, the mirrors, the steering. It was overwhelming. But with time, as those pathways grew stronger, driving became a breeze. You won't have to think about it anymore. It'll just happen automatically. That's how mental reprogramming works. At first, pushing through fear, thinking differently, and acting confidently feels strange. Your brain is still stuck in old habits. But with regular practice, those new habits take the lead. When that switch happens, change feels effortless. It feels like it's always been a part of you. This is how you gain control over your mind and reclaim power from outdated beliefs and limiting thoughts. You won't force yourself to change overnight. Instead, you'll rewire your subconscious in small steps. One thought, one action, and one belief at a time. Once you learn how to consciously program your subconscious, there's nothing you can't achieve. That's what we're going to explore next. Now that you see the struggle between your conscious and subconscious, it's time to learn how to win. Chapter 5, The Silent Architect, How Your Subconscious Shapes Your Reality. There's a hidden force shaping your thoughts, actions, and experiences. It doesn't shout for your attention or make itself known. It works quietly in the background, molding your reality without you even noticing. This force is your subconscious mind, and whether you realize it or not, it's the architect of your life. Most people think their experiences shape their beliefs. If they struggle with money, they believe opportunities are scarce. If they keep attracting unhealthy relationships, they think it's just bad luck. If they lack confidence, they assume they were born that way. But here's the surprising truth. It's the other way around. Your beliefs shape your experiences. Your subconscious is like a projector. It shows you whatever's programmed inside, your core beliefs, fears, and expectations. It seeks to confirm those beliefs in the world around you. If you deep down believe money is hard to get, your subconscious will filter reality to back that up. It might make you overlook chances or engage in self-sabotage, keeping you stuck in the same financial struggles no matter how hard you try. If you believe relationships are painful, your subconscious will lead you to people who make that belief come true. Even if you firmly believe you want something different, some people seem to attract success effortlessly, while others struggle, no matter how hard they try. It's not just luck or talent. It's about how their subconscious is set up for a different reality, and that internal setup shapes their external world. If you want to change your life, you've got to change the blueprint. You need to rewrite those subconscious programs that have been quietly influencing your reality. Once you do, The outside world has no choice but to follow suit. This might sound a bit like magic, but it's really science, specifically neuroscience. Your brain is designed to work based on patterns and predictability. It doesn't like randomness, it craves certainty. It achieves that by filtering reality to match what it already expects to see. The part of your brain that handles this is called the reticular activating system, or RAS. Think of it as a gatekeeper, deciding what information gets through to your conscious mind. Right now, there are millions of bits of information around you. Sounds, colors, sensations, conversations. But your brain ignores most of it. It only lets in what's considered relevant. And what does your brain consider relevant? Anything that aligns with your subconscious beliefs. That's why when you get a new car, suddenly you start seeing that same model everywhere. It was always there, but your brain didn't notice it before, since it wasn't part of your internal reality. Now that it is, the RAS lets it through. This idea applies to everything in your life: success, confidence, love, abundance. If your subconscious doesn't believe something is possible for you, the RAS will filter out anything that contradicts that belief, keeping you stuck in the same patterns. That's why affirmations often fall flat. You can say, "I am successful," 1,000 times, but if your subconscious doesn't buy it, your RAS will keep filtering reality to match your doubts. The trick is to reprogram your subconscious first. Change what it believes is possible, and then your brain will start letting in new evidence to support the life you want. So how do you rewire that subconscious to help you instead of hold you back? It starts with 3 essential steps: exposure. Repetition and emotional intensity play a huge role in shaping your mind. Imagine your brain getting flooded with a new reality. Your subconscious builds beliefs based on what it sees most often. If you grew up in a place where money was tight or relationships were messy, those became your default settings. To change this, you need to introduce your mind to a new reality, one where success, happiness, and confidence are the norm. Start by surrounding yourself with people, content, and environments that reflect the life you want to create. Read books, listen to mentors, and engage with media that supports the mindset you're aspiring to have. The more your subconscious sees these new ideas as normal, the more it will adjust to fit that reality. Next up is repetition. It's all about building new neural pathways. Your subconscious doesn't just change overnight, it transforms through consistent repetition. That's the power of habits. Each time you repeat a thought or action, you're strengthening those neural pathways. If you've spent years thinking you're not good enough, that belief has carved a deep groove in your brain. Just thinking differently a couple of times won't change that. But if you repeatedly reinforce new beliefs, those fresh neural pathways will gain strength while the old ones fade away. This is what neuroplasticity is all about: your brain's ability to rewire based on what you experience over and over. Now let's talk about emotional intensity. Your subconscious responds more to emotions than to logic. You can say, "I'm confident," but if you don't actually feel it, your mind won't believe it. You need to connect emotion to your new beliefs. Picture your success in vivid detail. Feel that excitement. Embody the confidence you want. This is why visualization is so effective. When you mentally visualize success, your brain activates the same pathways as if you're really living it. The more real and emotional you make this new belief feel, the quicker your subconscious will accept it as true. At the heart of this subconscious shift is your identity. It's not just about changing what you do, it's about changing how you see yourself. When you transform your identity, everything else will follow. Everything else falls into place when you change how you see yourself. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, you'll make choices that keep you stuck. But if you picture yourself as confident, successful, and capable, your mind will shift your actions to fit that picture. The trick is to act as if. Start living like the person you want to be. The moment you commit to this new identity, everything starts to shift. Your mind stops pushing back, and change feels easier, more natural. Right now, your subconscious is influencing your reality. It's filtering what you see, reinforcing beliefs, and guiding your choices, often without you even knowing it. So the big question is, will you let it run on autopilot, or will you take charge? Because here's the truth: you're not stuck. You're not tied down by old beliefs, past experiences, or what's happening around you. Your mind is a powerful tool, something you can program. Once you learn to change that programming, you'll unlock a level of freedom and confidence that most people don't even know is possible. This is just the start. Now that you see how powerful your subconscious is, it's time to dive deeper. It's time to learn how to reshape your thoughts, feelings, and actions so that success feels inevitable. Are you ready? The real transformation starts now. Chapter 6: The Invisible Chains. Hidden beliefs can keep you trapped. You might not see them or even realize they're there, but right now, invisible chains are holding your mind hostage. These chains control what you can achieve, how you see yourself, and what you allow yourself to experience in life. They're not physical, but they can be incredibly strong. These are the subconscious beliefs that have shaped your reality since you were a child. They control everything: your confidence, your success, your happiness, even your relationships. And here's the surprising part. Most of these beliefs aren't even yours. They were handed to you by your parents, your culture, your experiences in society. The way you see yourself was programmed. The way you deal with stress, love, failure, or opportunity, that too was installed without you even being aware of it. And unless you recognize these invisible chains are what they are, and if you don't recognize them, you'll spend your life imprisoned in a mental cage built by someone else. Have you ever noticed how two people can face the same chance but end up in totally different places? One might seize the moment, soar to success, while the other doubts, hesitates, and lets it pass by. It's not about being smarter or working harder. It's all about belief systems. The subconscious is at play, running quietly in the background, whispering to one, "You deserve to succeed," and to the other, "You're not good enough." So what's holding you back? What subconscious beliefs are in your way right now? To understand where limiting beliefs come from, we have to journey way back to your earliest years. From birth to about age 6, your brain is mostly in a state called theta waves. This is all about deep learning, creativity, and crucially soaking things up like a sponge. During this time, your mind absorbs everything: the words you hear, the reactions you witness, the emotions you feel. This is when your core beliefs take shape, not from careful thought, but through repetition and strong emotions. If you grew up in a place where love was conditional, you might have picked up the idea that you have to earn love, leading you to spend your life pleasing others and sacrificing your own needs. If you faced constant criticism, you might believe you're not good enough, which can turn into perfectionism or a fear of failing. And if your parents struggled with money, you could have internalized the thought that wealth is out of reach, sabotaging your financial success down the road. Here's the scary part. These beliefs don't play out in your conscious mind. You don't wake up saying, "I have to struggle because that's what I learned as a kid." No, these beliefs move beneath the surface, quietly guiding your choices, shaping your reality, and reinforcing themselves over and over again. Your subconscious mind doesn't like contradiction. It craves consistency between what it believes and what it sees. Once a belief is set, your subconscious will work tirelessly to make it true, regardless of whether it's actually helping you. If you deep down think you don't deserve to be successful, your mind will quietly push you away from chances. You might find yourself putting things off, sabotaging your efforts, or feeling stuck in fear just when success is within reach. This happens not because you want to fail, but because your subconscious needs to stay true to what it believes. It's why people often feel trapped in the same cycles: bad relationships, money troubles, and self-doubt year after year. It's not about being unlucky or unworthy. It's that their subconscious keeps them stuck in the reality it knows. But here's where things can change. Once you spot those patterns, you can break free, shattering that illusion. To identify and kick out those limiting beliefs, you first have to see the hidden programs running in your mind. This takes genuine self-awareness and some tough honesty. Ask yourself, what do I think about success? Do I believe it's just for a lucky few? How about love? Do I feel I need to earn it? What do I think about happiness? Do I think I have to suffer first to deserve it? And what about my self-worth? Do I really feel good enough, or am I always doubting myself? When you pinpoint a belief, trace it back. Where did it come from? Was it something said to you as a kid? Based on a painful moment? Did you pick it up from those around you? And most importantly, is it actually true? Because here's the reality. Beliefs aren't facts. They're just ideas we've built up over time. And just like they were formed, they can be unformed. Once you recognize a limiting belief, you've got the power to swap it out for a new one. Your mind is flexible. The moment you consciously choose to believe something different, you start reprogramming your subconscious. Remember though, your subconscious doesn't just change because of words. It changes through experiences, repetition, and emotions. You need to act in line with your new belief again and again until it feels like your new normal. If you've always thought you're not good enough, start behaving like you are. Speak with confidence. Take bold steps. Challenge yourself. At first, it might feel awkward. That just means you're breaking old habits. The more you reinforce your new beliefs, the more real they become. This is how change happens, not by waiting for your mind to shift, but by making it accept a new truth through action. There will come a moment in this journey when everything clicks, a breakthrough. The old beliefs will crumble and the new ones will settle in. When this happens, it will feel like a weight has been lifted from your shoulders. You'll start to see the world differently. Opportunities that used to be hidden will come into view. What felt forced will turn into something natural. From that point on, you will be transformed. Once you realize that your mind shapes your reality, you'll stop living on autopilot. You won't be held back by invisible chains anymore. You'll become the master of your mind, the creator of your life. That's when you'll discover your true power. So ask yourself now, what invisible chains am I still dragging around? And more importantly, am I ready to break free? The moment you genuinely decide to let go of old programming, you take the first step toward becoming who you were always meant to be. And that, my friend, is where the real journey begins. Chapter 7. The War Within. Conquering Mental Resistance and Self-Sabotage. Right now, there's a war going on inside your mind. You might not see it clearly, but you feel it every day. It's the struggle between wanting to grow and succeed and clinging to what's familiar, even when it's painful or limiting. This internal battle is the root of all mental resistance, procrastination, fear, and self-sabotage. It's what keeps so many people from breaking bad habits, chasing dreams, or sticking to commitments. If you don't learn how to win this war, you'll find yourself stuck in a loop of frustration, knowing you can do more, but never quite getting there. To understand this battle, we need to dive into its two main players, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is where you set goals, dream big, and crave change. It's that inner voice pushing you to wake up early, work hard, and break through your limits. But then there's the subconscious mind. This is where the real strength resides. Unlike the conscious mind, the subconscious doesn't care about ambition. Its main job is to keep you safe. It thrives on what feels familiar. If you've spent years believing you're not good enough, your subconscious will fight any effort to change that belief. Not because it wants to hurt you, but because it views change as a threat to your survival. That's why you feel resistance every time you try to break free from old habits. Your subconscious is like a robust security system protecting the status quo. As soon as you attempt to switch up your routine, chase a new goal, or step outside your comfort zone, the alarm goes off. You start to feel overwhelmed, anxious, and stuck in doubt. You might say, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'm not ready yet," or even, "Maybe this isn't for me." But that's not true. It's just the subconscious trying to drag you back to what it knows. If you don't recognize this resistance for what it is, it will keep winning, leaving you trapped in the same patterns for life. Self-sabotage doesn't happen randomly. It's not a flaw or weakness. It's a survival mechanism, a defense system that activates whenever your subconscious senses a threat. And the biggest threat? Uncertainty. Think about it. Your subconscious doesn't prioritize your happiness or success. It cares about predictability. If you've battled confidence issues, failures, or money struggles for years, that's what your mind knows best. It feels safe, even if it's not healthy. So when you consciously want to change, your subconscious will push back, dragging you back to the familiarity of your old ways, even if those ways are toxic. This explains why people go back to unhealthy relationships or procrastinate on life-changing opportunities, even when they crave success. It's also why individuals sabotage their own happiness, just as they're about to achieve something great. The subconscious has its own agenda. Don't focus on being great, it really just wants to keep things the same. But here's the bright side. Once you get this idea, you can break free. You can reprogram your mind to view change as safe, success as something normal, and growth as just how things are now. When that happens, you'll notice the fear, resistance, and self-sabotage start to fade away. You'll finally break the cycle and defeat that mental block that's been running your life. So how do you tackle this subconscious barrier? The answer is in gradual change, exposure, and shifting your identity. First, let's rewire how you respond to fear. Fear is the main tool your subconscious uses to keep you stuck. The reality is that most people overlook this. Fear isn't a stop sign. It's actually a signal for growth. Every time you feel fear, it means you're about to step into unknown territory, and that's where real change happens. The trick is to stop seeing fear as a reason to back off and start viewing it as a reason to move forward. If you ever feel that urge to shy away from something you know is good for you, like speaking up or getting out of your comfort zone, acknowledge that fear, but go for it anyway. The more you train your mind to see fear as a cue to act rather than retreat, the weaker hold you will become. Next, let's talk about gradual exposure. If you try to change everything overnight, your mind will freak out and pull you back. Instead, ease into it. Let your mind adjust slowly. If you're struggling with self-worth, start with little actions that build up that belief that you're valuable. If you want to grow your confidence, take small, manageable risks every day. The goal is to bring in changes that won't overwhelm your mind, because once your subconscious sees a new pattern as safe, it won't resist it anymore. Last but not least, you need to shift your identity. Become the version of yourself that doesn't struggle. Your subconscious isn't just about what you do, it's about who you think you are. That's why folks who see themselves as shy tend to duck social situations, and those who think they're unlucky keep finding evidence for it. Your mind will go to great lengths to prove your identity right. To really break free, you need to embrace a new identity even before you feel completely ready. Stop telling yourself, "I'm trying," and start believing you are that person. To build your confidence, start telling yourself, "I am a confident person." Instead of saying, "I'm working on my success," declare, "I am already successful." The more you say this, the more your mind will start to believe it, and your life will begin to change. Mastering your mind is key. The struggle in your head is real. It's a conflict between the part of you that wants to grow and the part that holds on to the past. But here's the game changer. You're in control. You don't have to be held back by old habits, fears, or self-sabotage. Once you see your subconscious for what it is, a system that can be reprogrammed, you'll find the power to change your reality from the inside. When you take charge of your mind, everything shifts. The struggle fades away. Doubt starts to disappear. Instead of battling yourself, you'll learn to work with your mind. You'll become the architect of your thoughts, the director of your feelings, and the master of your life. So, are you ready to take control? The moment you decide to rewire your mind is the moment you step into the life you were meant to have. And once you make that choice, there's no going back. This is your turning point. The war in your mind is coming to an end, and you're the one who comes out on top. The biggest battles aren't fought in offices or stadiums, they're fought in the quiet corners of your head. It's where thoughts compete with possibilities, where fear faces off against courage, and where doubts tell you lies that keep you stuck. Right now, your subconscious is either working for you or against you, shaping your reality in ways you might not even notice. So who's really in control? A lot of people don't realize how much their lives are driven by deep-seated programming. Every choice, every reaction, every limit you set for yourself, it's all influenced by patterns so entrenched they feel like truth. But here's the thing, your subconscious isn't the enemy. It's just following the rules it was taught, carrying out the beliefs it thinks are true. If the beliefs you hold were formed in fear, self-doubt, or limitation, your subconscious will keep guiding you toward failure. Not because it wants to hurt you, but because it's loyal to what it knows. To break this cycle, you need to take back control of your mind and change the scripts that have shaped your reality for so long. The first step is to understand how your subconscious takes charge in the first place. It creates invisible barriers. Picture this. You're standing at the edge of a big, open field. There's a vast horizon before you. You could go anywhere, do anything, be anyone. But instead of moving forward, you feel something pulling you back. An invisible barrier keeps you in place. You hesitate. You doubt yourself. There's a little voice in your head saying, "Stay where it's safe. Don't take any risks. You might fail." But here's the truth. That barrier isn't real. It isn't built from stone or steel. It's made from your memories, past experiences, and the lessons you've unconsciously picked up over the years. If you've tried to achieve something and faced failure, your subconscious remembers that. If you felt hurt, rejected, or embarrassed, those moments are tucked away, ready to resurface whenever you think about stepping out of your comfort zone. That's why, even if you consciously want to succeed or grow, your subconscious fights against it. It isn't invested in your dreams. It just wants to keep you safe from what it sees as danger. So, if venturing into the unknown feels risky, even if that unknown carries your biggest potential, your mind will trip you up before you even start. Now let's talk about the comfort zone illusion. Your brain convinces you that where you are is safe, but your comfort zone? It's just a mirage, a well-crafted illusion that keeps you small, predictable, and in control. It tricks you into thinking that the familiar is good, even if it brings you pain, and that sticking to the same patterns is better than taking risks. But let's shatter that illusion. Think back to the times in your life when you felt truly alive, when excitement coursed through your veins. Did those moments happen inside your comfort zone? Or did they happen when you took a leap, challenged yourself, or risked something and came out stronger on the other side? Real growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. Transformation doesn't come from sticking to the same old routine. If you want to take back control of your mind, you need to learn to welcome discomfort. You have to rewire your subconscious to see the unknown, not as something to fear, but as an exciting adventure. That's where your biggest potential lies. Here's the good news. Your mind can adapt. It's not stuck. The patterns that used to hold you back can be rewritten. Old fears can fade away, and the barriers keeping you down can be knocked down. But you have to take charge of this change. You need to be the one building your subconscious, tuning it to work for you instead of sabotaging your efforts. Here's how to do it. First, fill your mind with new messages. Your subconscious doesn't ignore repetition, it thrives on it. To change how your mind works, you have to feed it fresh beliefs, new perspectives, and current truths. Start talking to yourself differently. Swap out self-doubt for self-confidence. Instead of saying, "I don't know if I can do this," try, "I always find a way." Instead of, "I've never been good at this," say, "I'm becoming a master at this every day." The words you speak set the script your subconscious follows. Change those words, and you change the program. Next, disrupt the cycle of fear-based thinking. Fear is the language your subconscious understands best. Every time you let fear make your choices for you, you give it more power. The way to weaken fear is to face it head-on, challenge it, and show it that it's wrong. Start small, do something uncomfortable every day. Push your limits, speak up, try something new, or take a risk. With each step, you send a clear message to your subconscious. I control my fear. Fear does not control me. Lastly, reshape how you see yourself. Become who you were meant to be. Your subconscious doesn't just react to words, it responds to your identity. It sees you as a certain kind of person and tries to keep you consistent with that image. If you've always thought of yourself as shy or struggling, your subconscious will work to keep you in that role. But here's the trick. You can change who you are, not by pretending, but by making a decision. Start seeing yourself as the person you want to be, right now, not some distant day in the future. Act as if your transformation has already begun. Think about the confident and powerful version of yourself that's already there. As you speak, think, and act like that version, your subconscious will start to believe it. Over time, it'll shift your reality. There will come a moment when everything clicks. You'll look back and see that the part of you that doubted and held yourself back is gone. This change won't happen by chance. It won't be because life suddenly gets easier. It's because you've changed from the inside. And guess what? That change starts right now. No more hesitation. No more waiting for the perfect time. No more letting old patterns control your life. You have the power to rewrite your mind and reclaim your subconscious. It's time to step into the limitless potential that's been waiting for you. So ask yourself, what are you waiting for? The battle within your mind is over. You're the one who wins. Now let's break free. How do we reprogram the subconscious for success? If you've ever felt stuck, battling self-doubt and procrastination, you're not alone. Many people live their lives trapped in invisible prisons, unaware that those chains are made up of limiting beliefs and fears. These mental chains weren't handed to you by fate or some cruel twist of destiny. They were built piece by piece, experience by experience. But here's the game changer. What's been programmed can be reprogrammed. Your mind isn't a fixed machine. It's a living system shaped by what you let in. Just like it learned to believe in limitations, it can learn to believe in limitless potential. But this process isn't passive. You can't just wish for change and expect it to happen. You have to step up, take charge of the very mechanisms that have controlled you for so long. To do this, we'll explore 3 core principles of subconscious reprogramming: awareness, repetition, and emotional engagement. Intense focus and awareness are your keys to unlocking the deeper parts of your mind. It's about rewriting the scripts that shape your reality and breaking free from those self-imposed chains that have dragged you down for too long. First, you need to pinpoint what's going on in your mind. There are hidden programs running your life. Remember, you can't change what you don't recognize. This is why many people find it hard to shake off bad habits, negative thoughts, and limiting beliefs. They don't even see their own programming. They think the way they think, feel, and act is just who they are. They don't question whether these patterns come from outside influences, past hurt, or societal pressures. But once you realize that your thoughts and beliefs aren't absolute truths and are just subconscious programs, you empower yourself to change them. Start by tuning into your internal dialogue. What thoughts dominate your daily life? Do you often tell yourself you're not good enough? Do you expect the worst, doubt your skills, or fear failure before you even start? These aren't random thoughts. They're the result of your subconscious programming, keeping you spinning in a cycle of self-sabotage. Next, look at the patterns in your life. If you often deal with the same problems, money issues, bad relationships, or low self-esteem, it isn't because you're unlucky or incapable. It's due to your subconscious trying to recreate what feels familiar, even if that familiarity hurts. If it's been programmed to link money with stress, relationships with disappointment, or success with pressure, it'll keep guiding you toward those outcomes. But here's the turning point. Once you spot the pattern, you can break it. The moment you see those beliefs as just programs rather than universal truths, you start to strip them of their power. This awareness is your first step to reprogramming your mind. You can recognize the subconscious patterns that have controlled you and understand they can be rewritten. With repetition, you'll install new mental programs that support you. Once you identify what's holding you back, the next step is to replace those limiting beliefs with new, empowering ones. Beliefs that lift you up are key. The best way to build them is through repetition, just like how your current beliefs were formed. Think about how habits get made. When you do something repeatedly, it becomes second nature. If you tell yourself something enough times, it starts to feel true. Your subconscious picks up on what it hears a lot. So, if you regularly feed it positive thoughts, it'll start to see those thoughts as reality. That's why techniques like affirmations, visualization, and daily mental practice are so effective. It's not just about thinking positively or pretending everything's fine. It's about changing your subconscious to welcome a new reality. If you keep telling yourself, I am capable, I am confident, I am successful, your mind will eventually accept these ideas, just like it once accepted your doubts. But here's the kicker. You've got to be consistent. One-off affirmations won't cut it. Reprogramming your mind takes daily effort. You need to replace old beliefs with new ones. Immerse yourself in the person you want to be. Say those new truths every morning. Picture your success like it's already happened, and act as if you are that person now. The more your subconscious encounters this new reality, the quicker it will adjust to it. Emotions are crucial in this process. Your mind doesn't just remember events, it remembers the feelings tied to them. That's why painful memories stick around and why emotional experiences can shape your beliefs more than neutral ones. To speed up reprogramming, you need to connect strong, positive emotions to your new beliefs. It's about more than just speaking affirmations, you need to feel them. Don't just say, "I am confident." Stand tall, take a deep breath, and feel that strength throughout your body. When you visualize success, dive deep into that experience. Picture the excitement, the pride, the joy of reaching your goals. The more feeling you pour into your new mindset, the quicker it will take hold. That's why powerful speeches, motivating experiences, and deep emotional breakthroughs can create lasting change. Real change comes when you break through old habits by flooding your mind with high-energy emotions. This creates new pathways in your brain. You can tap into that power too. Make your reprogramming filled with passion. Listen to inspiring music as you declare your goals. Move your body while embracing your new identity. Surround yourself with people and places that spark your enthusiasm. The more energy you invest, the quicker your mind shifts. Remember, your mind is your battlefield, and you're in charge. At the end of the day, your mind either supports you or works against you. You can consciously steer its programming or let past beliefs control you from the shadows. The moment you take the reins, when you choose to break old habits and replace limiting beliefs with empowering truths, you shift the power in your favor. This journey isn't instant. It takes patience, persistence, and a solid commitment to mastering your mind. But the payoff? A life full of endless possibilities. When you reprogram your subconscious for success, confidence, and fulfillment, you enter a new world. Fear steps aside, self-doubt fades, and you transform into the unstoppable force you were meant to be. So are you ready to take control? The moment you say yes to this journey, the chains start to break, and the world opens in ways you never dreamed. This is your mind. This is your battlefield, and you're the one who emerges victorious. Chapter 10: The Hidden Puppeteer. How your subconscious shapes reality. What if I told you that every decision you make, every reaction you have, and every opportunity you grab or let slip away is influenced not by conscious choice, but by something lurking beneath the surface? A force so strong it shapes your life without you even knowing it. This force is your subconscious mind, the hidden puppeteer pulling the strings of your thoughts, actions, and beliefs. If you don't recognize its power, you'll end up just a puppet, following a script you didn't even write. Most people believe they control their lives. They think they make decisions based on logic, free will, and personal choices. But if that were true, why do so many struggle with the same challenges over and over again? Smart, capable people often end up sabotaging their own success. They might find themselves repeating toxic relationship patterns or stuck in harmful habits. The root of the issue lies deep within their unconscious mind. Think of your subconscious as an autopilot. It records every experience, every feeling, every lesson, and saves it all for future reference. It learns from what's happened before, creating patterns that shape how you see your life. For example, if you grew up in a home where money meant stress and scarcity, your subconscious might see financial success as a threat, something strange and dangerous. So, even if you consciously want to be wealthy, your subconscious will find ways to hold you back, making sure you stick to the beliefs it's taken in. The same goes for relationships, self-worth, health, and pretty much every part of life. Here's the kicker. Most of this programming was set before you even had a say in it. From childhood, your mind has been influenced by the words, actions, and feelings of the people around you, like parents, teachers, society, and the media. You didn't choose what to believe about yourself or the world. Those beliefs were handed to you. But now that you're an adult, you have a choice. You can keep living by these old scripts, or you can rewrite them entirely. Your subconscious not only keeps memories, it also filters what you see in the world. It acts like a lens that shapes your perception, deciding what you notice, what you ignore, and how you make sense of things. This is known as the reticular activating system, or RAS. Ever notice when you start thinking about buying a specific car, you suddenly see that car everywhere? It's not that there are more of those cars out there. Your subconscious has tuned into them because they've become important to you. This idea applies to every area of life. If your subconscious believes you're unlucky or destined for struggle, it will look for proof of that belief, filtering reality in a way that supports what's already inside you. That's why two people can go through the same situation but come away with entirely different interpretations. One might see failure as a devastating confirmation of their fears. Some people feel worthless, while others see their struggles as lessons that push them forward. One person sees opportunities everywhere, another sees roadblocks at every turn. The difference isn't in what's real, it's in how they view it subconsciously. But here's the good part. That viewpoint can change. You're not stuck seeing the world through the same old filters from your past. By reprogramming your subconscious, you can train your mind to focus more on abundance than lack, success instead of failure, and opportunities rather than limitations. First, notice how your subconscious is shaping your reality right now. Next, intentionally change that perspective to match the life you want to create. It's time to rewrite your story and take back control. Think about the internal narrative you've been telling yourself for years. Is it a tale of limits, struggle, and failure? Or is it about growth, possibility, and resilience? Your subconscious believes your inner story, whether it lifts you up or tears you down. Many people walk around carrying the weight of outdated beliefs. I'm not good enough. Success is for others, not me, or I always mess things up. These might feel like truths, but they're really just beliefs reinforced over time. And like any belief, they can change. To reclaim your power, you need to consciously rewrite your own story. Stop repeating old tales. Start creating new ones. I am more than enough, just as I am. I can achieve whatever I set my mind to. I learn and grow from challenges. I attract love, success, and abundance easily. At first, these new beliefs might feel awkward or even false. But remember, your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It reacts to repetition and emotion. If you immerse yourself in these new beliefs daily, through affirmations, visualization, and consistent action, your subconscious will eventually accept them as your new reality, just like it did with the old limits. Now let's talk about identity. Your subconscious doesn't just react to thoughts, it aligns with who you believe you truly are. This is why real change can be tough. Many people struggle because they try to make adjustments without shifting their identity at the same time. To truly adopt new habits or reach new goals, you've got to see yourself in a different light. Think about it. If you view yourself as a procrastinator, no amount of productivity tips will really change anything. Your subconscious sticks to that identity. Likewise, if you believe you're someone who struggles with money, even a financial win won't change things. Your mind will pull you back to that familiar struggle. The secret to real change is all about shifting your identity from the ground up. Instead of just trying to be confident, own it. Say, I am a confident person. Shift that mindset. Instead of, I'm trying to be successful, tell yourself, I am someone who creates success effortlessly. And when it comes to discipline, rather than saying, I'm trying to be disciplined, proclaim, I am naturally disciplined and focused. Once you make this identity switch, your subconscious will align your actions accordingly. You won't have to force it. Change will flow naturally because your mind craves consistency with who you believe you are. Imagine waking up tomorrow and seeing yourself into a whole new light. Self-doubt fades and confidence takes over. Limitations? They turn into opportunities. You finally see just how much power you have over your life. This transformation isn't just for the lucky ones. It's not a random occurrence. It happens when you take control of your subconscious, break free from old patterns, and rewrite your story. So, are you ready to embrace that new version of yourself? The moment you truly decide to take charge of your mind, everything shifts. Doubts diminish, chains break, and you step into the life you were meant for. Now here comes the tricky part. There's a war inside you. It's the struggle between the person destined for greatness and the part that clings to comfort, fears, and old habits. This isn't a physical battle. It's fought with thoughts, habits, and deep-rooted programming. And the battleground? It's your mind. You've felt that resistance before. It sneaks in right when you're about to push the boundaries of your comfort zone, that nagging voice whispering, "What if you fail?" It creates this heavy feeling of procrastination, keeping you from taking action even when you know what you need to do. This resistance isn't just random, it's built deep within us to keep us safe, or at least what our subconscious thinks is safe. Our brains developed to focus on survival over success for thousands of years. Stepping into the unknown has usually meant danger. Straying from the group, heading into new territory, or challenging social norms could bring rejection, hardship, or even worse. Even though times have changed, our brains still react with those same basic instincts. They see change as a threat, even if it's something we genuinely want. A boost in confidence, financial freedom, a healthier body, or a booming career. Our subconscious fights back against change because it's unfamiliar. This is why people get stuck in toxic relationships, hold on to jobs they can't stand, and keep sabotaging themselves, even when they know it's wrong. It's not about being less intelligent, ambitious, or disciplined. Your subconscious just equates what's familiar with safety, and safety is its main goal. So, you end up in a constant clash between what you consciously desire and what your unconscious fears. But here's the truth many overlook. You can win this battle. You have the ability to rewire your brain to welcome change, overcome mental resistance, and train your subconscious to lift you up instead of holding you back. First, though, you have to understand how resistance works, and more importantly, how to break it down bit by bit. Think about how resistance shows up in your life. It doesn't always scream self-doubt or fear. Often it hides behind rational excuses, distractions, or emotional barriers that keep you stuck without you even realizing it. To take control of your mind, you need to learn to spot how resistance is sneaking in. Let's look at procrastination, the illusion of later. Procrastination isn't laziness, it's fear in disguise. When you push an important task aside, it's not because you don't care. It's because, deep down, your subconscious sees that task as a threat. Maybe it stirs up feelings of self-doubt. Sometimes it makes you face the unknown. It nudges you out of your cozy, familiar space. Your mind tells you to just wait, convincing you that tomorrow will be easier. But tomorrow never actually arrives. Procrastination keeps you stuck. The more you dodge something, the scarier it becomes, and the tougher it is to get moving. The only way out of this trap is to realize that taking action, even when it's uncomfortable, hurts much less than regretting what you didn't do. Next up is overthinking, that endless loop of thoughts that paralyzes you. Your mind is a pro at creating problems that aren't really there. Overthinking feels like you're making progress, but it just keeps you stuck in a mental standstill. The subconscious likes to keep you hesitant. You think about things so much that you never risk failing. But success doesn't hinge on making the perfect choice. It's all about taking action. The trick to stop overthinking: trust yourself, make a choice, and keep moving. Even if it's not perfect, taking a step will always teach you more than just mulling it over. Then there's self-doubt, the silent killer of dreams. This is often the most dangerous kind of resistance because it hits you at your core. It's that inner voice questioning if you're good enough or if you even deserve to succeed. If your mind is filled with thoughts like, "I'm not enough," or "I always fail," then no amount of praise from others can change that. To break free from self-doubt, you've got to actively reshape how you see yourself. That means filling your mind with positive thoughts until those become your norm. Self-doubt won't vanish overnight. It's something you starve by refusing to give it attention. Prove it wrong by taking action and surround yourself with people and places that lift you up. Now that you see what resistance looks like, how can you tackle it? The key is to rewire how your subconscious reacts to change. Here are 3 strong techniques to overcome resistance and train your mind for action. First up is the 5-second rule. When you feel that first twinge of resistance, whether it's procrastination, fear, or overthinking, you've got just 5 seconds to act. Act quickly before your subconscious nixes the urge. This is what Mel Robbins calls the 5-second rule. Here's the deal. When you start feeling that resistance, count down from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then jump into action. Do it fast, before doubt can creep in. Why does this work? Hesitating kicks your brain into fight or flight mode, flooding your system with stress hormones and fueling self-doubt. But when you act right away, you skip that response. You train your brain to link movement with confidence. Next up, let's talk about exposure therapy. Make the strange feel familiar. Resistance often comes from the unknown, so confront your fears head-on. The more you tackle something, the less daunting it gets. Your brain adjusts, rewiring itself to view it as normal. For instance, if speaking in public freaks you out, practice in front of a mirror every day. If self-promotion is tough for you, share something about your skills online daily. If fear of failure holds you back, seek out challenges until failure feels less controlling. Consistent exposure is key. Do the uncomfortable things so often that it no longer feels threatening. Now, let's shift to identity. Start seeing yourself as someone who takes action. Your subconscious wants to keep you in line with who you think you are. If you picture yourself as someone who hesitates, guess what? Your actions will reflect that. But if you reshape your identity to someone bold and fearless, your subconscious will push to make that true. Affirm this new identity every day. Say, I take immediate action. I thrive under pressure. I embrace challenges. I am unstoppable. The more you reinforce this through your words and actions, the sooner your subconscious aligns with this new you, until resistance no longer holds power over you. Finally, let's address the real struggle, the battle with yourself. In the end, the most crucial fight is the one in your own mind. Resistance will always try to drag you back into comfort, fear, and old habits. But you can choose whether to let it control you or to master it. Winning this battle isn't about wiping out fear. It's about acting despite it. It's about reshaping your perspective. See obstacles as opportunities, challenges as stepping stones, and resistance as a signal that you're growing, are rising. And the question isn't if you can do this anymore. It's whether you'll fight for the person you're meant to become. The moment you choose to win this battle, the world opens up in ways you never dreamed of. Chapter 12. Breaking Mental Chains, Escaping the Invisible Prison of the Mind. There's a prison like no other. It's sneaky, so much so that those trapped don't even see it. It has no visible walls, no iron bars, and no guards keeping you in check. Yet it restricts you more than any physical cage ever could. This prison exists in your mind, woven from beliefs, fears, and self-made limits that quietly steer your life. It tricks people into settling for less than they truly want, keeping them chained to their past and mistaking their conditioned reality for unchangeable truth. The most cunning part? Most never even think of escaping because they've been trained to think there's no way out. But there is. The key has always been right there, hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to challenge everything you thought you knew about yourself and the world. From the moment we're born, our minds start taking in the rules around us. As kids, we don't question what we see, we just accept it. If someone tells us something is dangerous, we steer clear. If we hear we aren't good enough, we take that to heart. If we watch adults living in stress or struggling, we start to think that's just how life is meant to be. Our subconscious mind records everything: spoken words, hidden emotions, social norms, and expectations. It forms a blueprint that will quietly govern our actions, decisions, and self-image for the rest of our lives. By the time we grow up, this mental blueprint is so deeply ingrained that we confuse it for our true identity. But in reality, it's just a collection of borrowed beliefs, many of which don't even serve us, yet they continue to control us like an invisible force. The truth is, most of what you believe about yourself isn't even yours. It's a borrowed set of limitations handed down from society, parents, teachers, and past experiences. If you were told as a child that you weren't smart enough, you probably accepted that belief, even if it was never true. If you grew up seeing Many people face financial struggles, which can create an unconscious link in your mind between money and hardship. This might cause you to unintentionally sabotage your financial success. If you're surrounded by the idea that taking risks equals failure, your mind may shy away from opportunities, even those that could transform your life. Unless you actively challenge these beliefs, they act like your invisible prison, controlling your actions, what you avoid, and who you ultimately become. But here's the most powerful truth. Every one of these limitations can be broken. The bars of this mental jail are only there as long as you allow them. The moment you begin questioning the beliefs you've lived with, the moment you start spotting the false stories that have held you captive, you start to dismantle that prison from the inside out. The chains won't break overnight, but with each step towards self-awareness, you loosen their hold. Every time you challenge an old belief, you carve a path to mental freedom, and each action you take outside your conditioned patterns helps you reclaim your power. So how do you break free from limiting beliefs? The first and most crucial step is awareness. You can't change what you don't recognize. Too many people go through life controlled by subconscious programming, repeating the same patterns, making the same mistakes, and hitting the same roadblocks. They often don't realize that the root cause isn't external, but rather internal conditioning. To break free, you need to be fiercely curious about the beliefs shaping your reality. Why do you think the way you do about success, love, failure, or your own potential? Every deeply held belief, when traced back to its origin, tells a story that might not serve you anymore. Once you see that story, you gain the power to rewrite it. One effective way to uncover hidden limiting beliefs is to question them directly. Whenever you catch yourself thinking things like, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I always fail, or success is too hard, stop and ask yourself, is this really true? More often than not, you'll find these beliefs are based on outdated experiences, unfounded fears, or external influences you picked up unconsciously. When you start challenging these beliefs with logic, evidence, and conscious thought, you pave the way for change. The more you start questioning your thoughts, the weaker their grip on you becomes. Cracks appear in the walls of your mental cage, but awareness alone isn't enough. You need to replace old beliefs with new, empowering ones. Your subconscious mind isn't empty. It's filled with beliefs, both good and bad. If you don't actively choose inspiring thoughts, your mind will just fall back on the old ones. That's why techniques like visualization and shifting your identity are so important. They're more than just feel-good strategies. They're essential ways to rewire your brain. The mind accepts what it hears the most. So if you keep saying things like, I am capable, or I find a way, your mind will start to believe it. Over time, these affirmations will replace limiting beliefs. It's not a quick fix. It's a lasting change that really reshapes who you are. But here's the thing. As you start breaking free, you'll feel resistance. Your mind, like a protective guardian, doesn't like change, even positive change. It might try to pull you back into old habits, whispering doubts or throwing distractions your way. Don't think of it as failure. It's actually a sign you're making progress. Resistance means you're pushing back against old programming, forcing your mind to adapt. And just like training a muscle, at first, it can feel uncomfortable or even painful. Your body wants to fight back, and your mind looks for reasons to quit. But if you keep pushing through, something amazing happens. The discomfort fades, and what once felt hard becomes second nature. The same goes for changing your mindset. The more you challenge your old beliefs, the easier it gets to step outside them. When you face your fears, they lose their grip on you. What once seemed impossible turns into your new reality. The biggest truth is this: you were never really trapped. The prison of your mind is just an illusion, a structure built around your own beliefs. Your thoughts aren't the same as reality. The bars keeping you stuck, they were never real. They were built from how you see things. And just like you made them, you can break them down. Your mind is your greatest asset, your most powerful tool, and the gateway to a whole new life. But to really unlock its potential, you've got to question everything you've believed so far. You need to push past fear, take action even when doubts creep in, and refuse to accept the life that old habits tell you to settle for. The walls of your prison are already starting to crumble. The only question is, will you walk through that open door? Now we're at Chapter 13, Mastering the Art of Mental Freedom. This is the moment. You've been breaking down those hidden forces that control your thoughts. You've uncovered the invisible chains holding you back and started your journey to break free. But awareness alone won't cut it. Knowing how your mind works is one thing. Being a master of it is another. True mental freedom isn't just about spotting the walls of your mental prison. It's about taking them apart, piece by piece, until all that's left is endless possibility. This is where the real work starts. It's about transforming from someone swayed by their mind to someone in complete control of it. So what does true mental control look like? It's not about silencing every thought or erasing your feelings. It's about understanding that you are the observer, not the captive of your mind. It's being able to step away from your thoughts, look at them from a distance, and decide which ones to keep and which to let go. It's about noticing when fear tries to pull you in and choosing instead to act in line with your higher goals, not your old habits. Mastering your focus means distractions won't hold you back anymore. It's a state where doubt might knock, but it never grabs the steering wheel. In short, mental mastery means shifting from reacting to choosing, from being a victim of unconscious patterns to becoming the creator of your own mind. The key to reaching this level of mastery is realizing that your mind isn't your enemy, it's your most powerful tool. It's not something you should fight or push away, it's something to train. Think of it like a wild horse. If you leave it untrained, it runs off in every direction, causing chaos for itself and its rider. But a trained horse, guided by a skilled rider, becomes an unstoppable force, navigating any path with ease. Your mind works the same way. If you let it run wild, it'll drag you into fear, procrastination, and self-doubt. But when you train it, it transforms into your greatest ally, pushing you forward with focus, resilience, and clarity. Training your mind involves daily routines that build mental strength. Mental strength isn't something you're born with, it's something you develop, just like a muscle. It needs consistent work to grow. The issue is that many people train their minds in the wrong direction. They repeat negative self-talk, reinforce limiting beliefs, and let distractions weaken their focus. To take control of your mind, you have to intentionally reprogram it every day. This isn't a passive task. It takes effort, discipline, and commitment. One of the most powerful ways to reshape your brain is through daily mental conditioning. Each morning before the world hits you with noise, grab hold of your thoughts. Set your intentions for the day. It's not just about what you want to do, but who you want to become. Do you want to be someone who hesitates and second guesses? Or do you want to be bold, moving with certainty and refusing to let fear dictate your choices? Make that choice before the day begins. If you don't, your mind will just fall back on its old habits. One effective method for daily conditioning is visualization. Your brain can't tell the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. So, when you visualize success, taking action, and stepping into your best self, your brain starts to accept this as reality. The more you do it, the more natural those actions will feel in real life. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's backed by neuroscience. Athletes, entrepreneurs, and top performers from all fields use this technique to set their minds up for success. And you can too. Another important habit is intentional self-talk. Every thought you repeat to yourself reinforces neural pathways in your brain. If you keep telling yourself you're not good enough, your brain will find proof to back it up. When you say success is tough, your subconscious ensures you struggle. But flip that around. If you train yourself to say, I am capable, I am unstoppable, I always find solutions, your brain will start acting in line with those beliefs. Words aren't just sounds, they're orders for your subconscious. Speak strongly and your mind will listen. Now, let's talk about focus. One of the biggest enemies of mental control is distraction. These days, the fight for your attention is unyielding. Social media, the news, constant notifications, they aren't just fun distractions. They're engineered to steal your focus, scatter your thoughts, and weaken your ability to direct your mind purposefully. The more distracted you are, the less control you have over your thoughts. That's why true mental control needs fierce discipline over focus. To reclaim that focus, treat your mental energy like it's vital, because it is. Set clear limits with technology. Cut down on negativity. Design your surroundings to keep distractions at bay. Train your brain to say no to instant gratification. The stronger your focus becomes, the more power you'll have over your thoughts, emotions, and ultimately your reality. Now, onto the final transformation, mastering your mind. When you reach this point, something amazing happens. You become unshakable. Fear won't freeze you anymore because you see it for what it really is, a temporary signal, not the whole truth. Negative thoughts won't control you because you've learned to swap them out for empowering ones. External factors won't dictate your feelings because you've created such a strong inner world that nothing can shake it. Most importantly, you realize you were never truly limited. The walls of your mental prison were never real. The doubts, fears, and hesitations that used to hold you back were mere illusions, illusions that lost their grip the moment you started questioning them. You were never lacking. You were conditioned to think that way. And now you're free. The last step is easy. Live from this new reality. Don't just know it, embody it. These ideas aren't just for thinking, they need to be practiced daily. The world truly belongs to those who've mastered their minds. When you gain control over your mind, you gain control over everything else. So think about this. Who do you want to be from now on? Will you fall back into old habits, or will you embrace your full potential and leave behind the limitations that used to hold you back? The choice is yours. It always has been. And now, you're ready.